With me,
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
well, that was good.
Yeah.
Please be seated.
We got that one right.
Okay, Larry. Every time I pronounce, I keep call Ricky the wrong name so many times. I owe him a drink for each time. And
Only 3 drinks.
I'm going broke. Yes. All right, We Care, Brad Hurst.
Brad, you. Never mind, you can take that one.
Is this one all right, Ricky?
Yes, of course.
Ricky, thank you. On a very pleasant note, if any of you are not aware of it, John Sensabaugh became a grandfather for the first time.
On in a situation where there's something happening or planes going down or ships going down, where that term came from. Anybody? Anybody?
Tell us.
Larry, how timid are you?
Well, what was my last name again?
Yes.
Well, as unaccustomed as I am to being intelligent, I beat you to the punch, everyone. The term Mayday is French.
No.
And you're kidding.
So is Anders.
Pineapple. Okay, yeah, the term Mayday is French and it means danger or alert. And it's spelled something like MEHDEZ, Maydays, but it is French, it's a French word. And it started being used in the aircraft and nautical industries in the 1920s when they had problems. Thank you very much.
See what a Cal Poly education will do for you?
Go Mustang.
Same information you have is the question.
That's the same information I had. Right, Bob?
That's right,
That's right.
correct. Pan. Another alert.
I didn't know that. All right, I'd like to thank Gary, was Gary?
Here,
Yep, Gary for being the greeter.
and Evan.
And Evan. And Marjorie Gilmore Wong for helping out as attendance taker.
Gilmore.
Gilmore. I'm worse than that. It's Wong Gilmore. No, it's Wong Gilmore.
Oh, Wong Gilmore.
You all heard great too.
I do. Hey, you can.
See what a California education.
So, and Kathy and Dave for always being there, and for Richard for helping out with the treasury, for Ricky with his technology expertise, for Bill for coordinating all of our assignments, and Heidi, of course, for setting up our programs each week. So we appreciate everything that you do. Do we have, before we do inspiration, do we have any visiting Rotarians? Yes, Gary. Oh,
I'm the only one.
we have others.
President Jim, fellow Rotarians and guests, I'd like to introduce in the category of
Electrical contact.
from the Rotary Club of,
Dublin.
please welcome.
Hello,
Fellow Rotarians. Hey, he didn't introduce me, he let the group do it. He took the easy way out.
Okay, and we have some more visiting Rotarians. No? Yes.
Yes, the Rotarians.
All right, we'll go to guest Rotarians.
It gives me great privilege and pleasure to announce my guest today, my number 4 son, who's really helping me a lot, Evan Schwager.
Hello, Evan.
Think I'm remembering.
Okay, Gary.
Hi, President Jim and fellow Rotarians and guests. I'd like to introduce, we have 2 guests. We have Alfredo Ortiz. Henninger. Both of them are from the Ortiz Plumbing and Drain Cleaning. And welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to our guest Rotarians and visitors. Oh. So I don't see Julie Lewis. She's doing our inspiration today. Do we? Oh, she's online. Julie. Oh, and Eric. And Steve. Well, welcome. Well, hi, Julie, you're on.
Hello there. I'm driving back from the doctors and you don't want me, so you don't want me on video.
Right. So, inspiration moment. Yeah, greetings from Catalina. I'm working on a project over here. So, this is short and sweet, but I think it's poignant. There were some businessmen who were over in India and they were walking through a slum area, very, very downtrodden area. And they saw people lying in the streets and in the gutters, dying of heat and thirst and malnutrition. And there was a woman there in the gutter with the men, administering to them and helping them and offering them water. And one businessman said to the other, "I wouldn't do that for $1 million." And the woman looked up and it was Mother Teresa and she said, "I wouldn't either."
Thank you so much, Julie. That was incredible. I'd like to ask Bob Brown to come up and talk about the Cobra event.
Thank you, President Jim. As most of you know, tomorrow is the 10th annual poker event. It's a big fundraiser for ours. We're hoping to raise more money than we've done in the past. It's our 10th anniversary, so there'll be a few surprises in store for those of you who want to come. We appreciate everybody's generosity and donations and support for this event. So now it's time to have fun. So if you want to come out, have a couple drinks, just show up, kind of socialize with everybody that's going to be there. We'd love to see you there. Tomorrow night, doors open at 5:30. Tournament starts at 7:45. And like I said, there'll be some, shenanigans and stuff that we've got planned. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Couple other announcements. May 10th is Rotary Gives Thanks, and we'll meet at the Hacienda Mobile Home Park. And I don't have the time in front of me, but
I have
Ricky knows.
1 second, I'm gonna put it on the screen.
Okay.
Yes, thanks.
8:30.
So there you go. It's gonna be, 8:30 to 1. There you go.
8:30 to 1. And on the same day is the memorial for Dennis Claire's
Holy moly. Number 3, Ricky. Who's keeping score? Number 3.
Varsha, and it's at their home at 1 o'clock on Saturday, the 10th. And at this time, I'd like to ask Tom Fox to come up. Tom Fox.
What's his last name?
Fox.
Oh, you got that right.
Is this the right one?
No.
Good save.
Fuchs.
Okay, all right. Yes, I'll work on it.
I'm just gonna show a little video of kind of what went on in our mission to Cebu with Rotoplas. And Ricky, cut it off anytime you run out of time.
Well, that's up to El Presidente.
Okay.
Here we go. So where is it? I had it. Here it is.
Club of Cebu Port Center is privileged to have hosted this 20th Rotoplas Cebu Medical Mission. Our goal is simple yet profound. That is to provide free cleft lip and palate surgeries to indigent children who would otherwise have no access to such life-changing care. Beyond the medical aspect, this mission has reaffirmed the core values that drive Rotary service: compassion and the desire to serve above oneself. Thank you to all who participated in this mission. Thank you to all our benefactors. Each smile that we helped create was a testament to what can be achieved when people come together with a shared purpose: to serve, to heal, and to uplift. Thank you, and God bless us all.
It is my distinct honor as President of the Rotary Club of Cebu Port Center
to express my deepest thanks and heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you. As we continue on our journey of service, let us draw inspiration from our guiding motto, service above self. Together, we can achieve remarkable things and create meaningful impact. Thank you once again for your dedication, commitment, and selfless service.
Hello, my Rotary family in District 3860. It is such a joy to be here in your district and today to have had an opportunity to visit the 20th anniversary of Rotoplast here in your fine community. 1,610 children as of today and growing. I can't thank you enough for the leadership that you have provided, making sure that young children are able to have access to a surgery that can change their life so dramatically. Thank you so much for being part of our organization, for being leaders in Rotary, and I hope to see you somewhere in the Rotary world sometime soon. Be well.
Kato pagkagawas aning niya, nang kahadlukan ako sa akong bata kay kanang ibuli ka siya sa iyapong classmates, mga mag-eskwela na sila sa Ginoo, gihatag sa Ginoo, dawaton nato, palanggaon nato, sama sa palangga sa atong Ginoo sa ato nang ma-feel na ko nga luoy kay siya kay ngano ba sino nga magigduwa siya nya kung mag-storyay sila nya awayon siya kay ngano bungi siya dili kay siya ka duwa sa iban kay maulaw lagi siya nakabalo ko anang naay Rotoplast sa abounding in love kag akong gibatay ron nalipay jud kay ko kay ngano libre operation sa akong anak kaya malipay ko nga matahi na akong anak mo eskwela na dili kay klaro ang iyang tahi.
Ano ko ato duha kog tuo ba kay ning ingon magud siya nga basin ko ana siya ma'am nagtak-om pusod na niya na siyang may liugan dapit ang mabuli siya gumabot sa nga dako siya nga dili maoperahan dayon ba namo siya paoperahan og sayo kay if ever nga nana siya ibuot maluoy kita kay kanang mabuli unya ba di ba malikayan gyud naboy ba bata nga mabuli gyud sa igsi ka bata pagkuan gyud pag anak jud nako sa akong anak i-upload yun na siya sa akong pares, gimayde siya niya. Naay ning comment nga kani nga organization ma'am ay kay gikan diri ang akong anak. Ay 12 years old akong anak. Pag 2 years old niya diya sa gioperahan. Yan nice ko na ang organization. Kaya accommodate gid ko mo wala ko na problema. Overwhelming gid kayo nalipay jud ko. Kay sa umaabot ng taon dili siya mabuli. Mientras wala pa siya ibuo. Sa organization nga Rotoplast kanang dagan jud kayo salamat ninyo. Salamat sa tanan-tanan jud tanan.
Rotoplast at 20. Congratulations to the dedicated members of the Rotary Club of Cebu Port Center and the ever-supportive spouses, changing the lives of more than 1,600 beneficiaries and their families. You are indeed the magic in Rotary. Congratulations. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I am Tamio Aoyagi, the 56th President of Yokohama Konan Rotary Club. I would like to express my gratitude for inviting us to the Rotoplast Medical Mission hosted by Cebu Port Center Rotary Club. We will continue to cooperation with you in volunteer activities such as cleft lip and palate surgeries. Thank you for your continued support.
Pag-ataw, nakaibaw na ko na buli ako paglawas ng niya ba. Ngayon, wala ako yung iba, nakasalamat ako sa Ginoo. Ang akong ihaluan sa akong anak na kung ano mabalik siya, hunguon, wala siya friend. Napitado siya ay uyawan siya na sa sila ay kuan, nani akong anak. Makulbaan, mahalok siya mabaling, malihon iya sa iyang mga barkada. Mahalok niya nga may eskwela, ay hunguon sa iyang classmate. Kuan yung research ko sa kuan social media para makita ko na ay nalilitaw more clear na ay Rota Plus na mo kahit sila sa mga bumi kami. Nalipay ko na ay Rota Plus na nitabang na mo ilalo na sitwasyon. Salamat kayo sa Rota Plus. God bless.
Yung 5 months pa lang sa tiyan ng asawa ko, sa ultrasound pa lang, kita na talaga. Yung obigay ni, sinabihan na din kami. Siyempre, di naman maiwasan yung about sa kanya, yung bullying, mga ganyan. Then, about naman sa discrimination, for future naman, about sa trabaho. Pero, marami namang nag-advise na repairable naman talaga. Maraming nalungkot, yung mama ko, sa side ng family ko, sa side ng family niya. As time goes by, parang na-accept na namin. Sa speech, parang mahirap talaga maintindihan yung mga sinasabi, like more on sign language. Oo. Like, kuwaw niya mo kamot, igdol, na tubig ngayon, masugad. Na gigutom ngayon siya or giuhaw, masugad. Like, 2 words lang iyagiyakan, like mama, lola, sugad, maula. Upon searching, social media, Facebook, daghang mangyapon mga, like, sugad yung medical mission, charity, mga sugad. So, nag-inquire lang nag-inquire. Like sa Operation Smile, mga sugad. Thankful lang na ang Rota Plus or ang Abounding Love page, nag-reply sa amuha, then gi-accommodate ang amo inquiries about sa akong anak. So, thankful, good, and grateful. Di ko ba, prayers, pero thankful nga na-accommodate ang akong anak. Unya, maopera, maging successful, then makaulig migbalik lite nga diri, way basol.
Hello, I'm honored to be the mission director for the 20th Rotoplas mission to Cebu. In cooperation with the Cebu Port Center Rotary Club, we are coming from all over the country and some other parts of the world. We're just so fortunate to be able to work together so efficiently to operate for 20 years in this community. We also want to thank Anton Ferendo, who was one of the people who started this mission and has carried it through along with all of the other Cebu Rotarians. Thank you very much for having us here.
Happy. Natahi na jud ako mga anak, kumpleto na, di na kami mabalik din hipon. Salamat kaayo sa Rota Plus, of course sa Abounding in Love. Salamat kayo sa hilig niyo suporta sa amon.
Grabe ang akong alipay niyo. Wala din ay butangan. Maayo na iyang ugba. Alam sa nindot na ugbaon, hindi na sa sungun, 100%. Lahat kayong salamat sa Rota Plus na naadod sa salamat kayo sa naadod may opportunity na makatabang mula mo and also na Adventist Hospital sa mga doktor, nurses, sa mga staff, marami ang mga buutan. Actually, sa Abounding Fund, marami inatiman din me. Daghan din ay salamat kami.
Speechless ko karon kay di pa masingking sa ako nga na ayaw na nga problema sa akong anak. Dahil mo nga salamat sa Rota Plus or sa Rotary Club, sa Abounding Life, Abounding Love, then sa tanan na sponsor. Daghang salamat sa iyong tanan. Thank you.
Alipay gigayo ko kay atlas na human na gyud ang operation sa akong anak. Grabe jud among sacrifice tanan pero atlas okay ra gyud. Daghan gyud kay salamat. Ang ako anak ko nga hayag nang pag-ugma sa akong anak sa umaabot nga if ever dako na siya, di na gyud siya mabuli. Away kasukod ang kadako sa akong kalipay karon si Roy nga na human na gyud og opera ang akong anak gyud. Di masukod ang kadako sa akong kalipay. Sa tanang mga kuan, daghan kayong salamat sa Rota Plus. Daghan jud kayong salamat. Inyo gyud provide ang tanan-tanan. Muli na ko eh.
By the authority vested in me as the President of the Rotary Club of Cebu Port Center for the year 2024-2025 with the theme, The Magic of Rotary. I will call Appreciation Dinner to order.
Thank you, Tom. Tom, actually wrote a grant or helped write a grant for that event, with EDF funds, so, and those are pretty complicated, so we appreciate you doing that, and that helped with funding for that trip. And also,
Our club contributed $5,000 of the cost for the trip.
congratulations, and this was Tom's 42nd trip.
I think so.
Yeah. You think so? I know so. All right, so, thank you for that. And at this time, I'd like to ask Heidi
Yes.
to come forward.
Yes. All right, good afternoon, everybody. It is my distinct honor to introduce you to Julie Esseltine and Tracy Mendez, two of our fabulous literacy specialists at the Pleasanton Public Library. Literacy is one of the many things that Rotary supports throughout various locations. And they're going to talk to you today about a program that is life-changing, adult literacy and English as a second language services. We all know about the importance of reading as a child, but being able to read, write, and speak at a proficient level as an adult makes or breaks your ability to connect with the community. So they're going to talk to you about the program. There'll be plenty of time for you to ask questions at the end, but I'd love to welcome up Julie and Tracy.
Thank you, Heidi, and thank you to everyone for having us here today. We've been looking forward to this for a few months since we knew we were going to become and speak to you all. So as Heidi mentioned, we are part of the library's literacy team serving adults exclusively. And so they tell you a bit about what we do, and then we have an ask of you at the end. So I will jump in.
Is that not working?
You can hear me okay?
Yeah, but I mean, is the
I-
clicker working?
Yeah.
Okay.
So our program is called Pleasanton Leads, and it's a long-standing library service that is open to Tri-Valley residents aged 18 and over who are either native English speakers or English as a second language learners. And they typically will read and write below the 8th grade level. And ESL students primarily want to focus on their speaking and listening skills in English. Our instruction is provided right now by 128 library trained volunteers, and we serve 162 registered learners through one-on-one or small group tutoring. And we serve additional students through drop-in conversation practice groups, book clubs, and some also receive support to prepare for US citizenship, GED, or high school equivalency testing. And our funding and support primarily comes from the city of Pleasanton, but also 2 annual grants from the California State Library, which we apply for every year, and supplemental donations on occasion. These funds and support allow us to offer all of our training materials and resources for our program participants at no cost. The current wait list for our students is 75, and those learners may wait up to 12 months to be matched with a volunteer. So you can see how critical our volunteers are to our operation. We are part of a strong history of adult literacy services in the state of California. We are a member library with California Library Literacy Services, which just celebrated 40 years of service last year. It is the first library-based adult literacy program in the United States, and it's grown to 106 partner libraries across California. And during its 40-year history, they've served over 300,000 adults and families with their literacy. So in the local area, we work with other partners to serve the adult English learner population, and that includes Las Positas College, which has a comprehensive ESL program. We are part of the Mid-Alameda County Consortium for Adult Education, and that consists of a work team of local administrators and educators from Las Positas College, local adult schools like Pleasanton Adult School, Dublin Adult School, Livermore Adult School, and other libraries such as ours who participate in adult literacy services. And we coordinate also with the Tri-Valley Career Center, which is a comprehensive service center working with job seekers and businesses throughout the Tri-Valley. We collaborate with each other to provide referrals across agencies so that we hopefully eliminate gaps. We can help learners find appropriate services for their needs and support one another. We can also make sure that we do not duplicate our services so we can be more efficient. We also have a unique outreach at our location. We have a satellite service. Some of our long-term volunteers are residents at Stone Ridge Creek Retirement Community, and they organized there to offer literacy services to some of the staff who are English language learners. So that has been a very exciting and fun outreach. So we are definitely not the only service provider, but we are happy to work in collaboration with other service providers in the area. So you may see our marketing and outreach. If you come to the library, you'll see posters and flyers. We have a presence on digital, email, and print communications. We're in the activity guide. You might see our ads on the back of the local bus in Pleasanton. And if you're a Spotify listener without a subscription, you might hear our ads on occasion. And the reason for this is it helps us attract participants to our program and alert people who may not have heard of our services before, so they can reach out and get connected with us. So I'm gonna turn things over to Tracy for a few minutes, and she's gonna talk about the participants of our program.
Hi, everybody. My name's Tracy, and I just wanted to share with you I'll give you a glimpse of who our learners are. They represent the changing face of California. We have currently, like Julie said, 162 learners from matchmaking tutors in our program. And I do their intake, so I get the privilege of meeting them and welcoming them. We have a family that got a green card and escaped the war in Ukraine. We have someone who works at a restaurant here on Main Street from Turkey. We have daycare providers from Mexico at a daycare nearby here in Pleasanton. We have a lovely pair of grandparents who moved here from Lebanon to join their adult daughter's family. And we have a ton of spouses whose husbands are software engineers from China and Korea. And they got job transfers to California. So these spouses, primarily wives, found themselves in a new country, a new language, a new culture, and a new community. Can you imagine how scary that is? And they came to the library to find help. And the great thing is we don't just provide English language tutoring. We give them a chance to connect to the community. They do that by coming to our free conversation classes, our ESL book clubs. We have a Mahjong game group. And every time they come, they get to practice English in a really safe environment. And when they feel connected to the community, they thrive. And when you thrive as a human being, you're a better parent, you're a better friend, you're a better worker, and you're a better citizen. So it's a privilege to do this job. I have a learner from Azerbaijan. She is an energetic young woman who was a chemistry teacher in her home country. She said this to me: the library feels like home. And she explained, because home is where you feel safe, home is where you feel supported, and home is where you feel loved. And it really moved me because I realized these learners come to the library and they don't view it as a place to learn English. They view it as home, the home away from home, right? Some of our learners set very specific goals, and once they achieve it, they leave the program. So we had a gentleman from China who, his goal was to get a full-time job. His tutor helped him work on his resume, helped him with interviewing skills, and he ended up getting a full-time job at Macy's as a sales associate, which means he's interacting with the public every day in English. We were so proud of him. Once he achieved that goal, he moved on from the program. But we have other learners who stay with the program for years. I think our longest tutor learner pair has been together for 13 years. By now they've become basically book club buddies. They practice reading at home, they meet and they discuss the themes of the book, and she continues to expand her knowledge of English vocabulary and be able to express herself better. So that's sort of a snapshot of our learners. I hope you can see how vibrant they are. Our volunteers, oh my goodness. Well, that previous slide said that the learners are the heart of our program. Well, the volunteers are the lifeblood. We could not serve the needs of these learners were it not for the 126 volunteers that we currently have right now. They show up every week with their time, with their energy, and they don't seek any recognition. They do this simply because they want to make a difference in someone's life, and they want to welcome them and help them feel connected to the city of Pleasanton. What are the requirements for becoming a volunteer? Well, if you can speak English, you're halfway there. If you have a teaching background, that's super helpful, but you don't have to, because we will help you. We provide volunteers with the resources, whether it's textbooks, digital resources. We make sure that they are fully equipped to provide the type of tutoring that that learner needs. We ask our volunteers to show patience, because many of our learners have lost their confidence. They've tried to go to the pharmacy and pick up medication. They've walked into Costco and were asked by all those sample givers, oh, you want to sample this, you want to sample that, and they don't know what's happening. So they've lost a lot of confidence. And this tutor is sometimes the one safe place and time a week that that learner can practice English, make mistakes and not be laughed at, not be judged. So we ask them to have patience. We also ask them to be curious about other people's backgrounds. The world is amazing and there's so much variety, and I love seeing that in our volunteers. We also hope that the volunteers are familiar with American culture, because many of our learners have questions about our traditions, holidays, our norms, our customs. You know, they're like, what is this thing called the Super Bowl where everyone gathers with their friends and family and eats chili and nachos, right? Like they want to know what this is. Many of them have told me this concept of small talk, what is that? You guys, that's a distinctly American thing. Like they don't do that elsewhere. To be standing in line at a grocery store, or that Trader Joe's worker, right? When every time you check out at Trader Joe's, they ask you, what are you doing this weekend? And they tell me, oh my goodness, I don't know how to make small talk. And our tutors help them with that. The other thing is that because of the terms of our grant, the tutors have to be 18 or older. And they meet once a week with their learners for 60 to 90 minutes, and we ask that they commit for a minimum of 6 months, just for continuity. Sometimes volunteers commit 6 months and move on. Other times, like I said, they stay for years. Sometimes they take on an additional learner as they gain confidence. But our volunteers, they gain as much from the program as the learners. I have this wonderful volunteer who is going to turn 81 in a couple weeks. And she just told me earlier this week, it is such a delight to meet with my learner every week. And she said, I learn something new every time I meet her. And I just love her open mind and her humble spirit, right? Like she's viewing this as not me teaching somebody else. I'm learning so much too. Those two stay in touch even when they're on vacation, and they just developed a beautiful friendship. The last thing I'll share with you is this woman from Korea. I was doing her intake and she asked me, what do you mean when you say that they're volunteers? And I said, it means they're doing this for free. And she paused and processed what I said and went, you mean they're not getting paid? And I said, no, they just want to welcome you. That's what our values are. So welcome to California and welcome to the city of Pleasanton. Her eyes filled with tears, and she looked at me and said, I hope one day I get so good at English that I can become a volunteer and help others too. So this is this beautiful collection of English learners in our community that we have the privilege of serving.
So I promised you I had an ask at the end of our little chat here. So if you were wondering how you can help us, or how you can get involved, our greatest need, despite all the wonderful support that we have, is still for more volunteers. As I mentioned, we do have a waiting list of learners who would like to work with someone one-on-one. We have our final training before summer coming up on Wednesday, May 14th at 5 p.m. at the library. And so people can register for that or come as a drop-in. Coming to a training does not automatically mean that you have signed yourself up for a commitment. It just means you're coming to check things out and to hear more, decide if it's the right opportunity for service for you. And if this is not your cup of tea, but you know of someone who's looking for a volunteer opportunity where they can meet and connect with other people and really serve and make a difference, we would really appreciate you referring us to your friends, neighbors, networks, community. So thank you again for having us. We would love to hear questions if you have any. Yes.
I'd like to know how you reach out to connect with them.
How do we attract them to the program? Right. So a lot of times we will work with our partner agencies such as Pleasanton Adult School, their ESL program. If we had say our waiting list magically disappeared, and we were looking for students, it's very easy to reach out to them, to the teaching staff there, and say, hey, we have capacity to serve more students. If you have anyone new to your programs who doesn't know about us yet, the teachers will mention us in their classrooms. Sometimes we will have them come to the library for a tour of the facility, and we'll do a short talk about services that the library provides to the general public. And then they also learn about our tutoring services as well. So those partner agency connections are really important for getting the word out. Yes.
I have a two-part question. One is, what's the student to volunteer ratio generally? And
Well, we need it for the Zoomers.
oh, okay. Well, what's the volunteer to student ratio? And then the other one is, do you have volunteers, do they specialize by certain languages, or do they just accept multiple types of languages?
Excellent questions. So the first one, most of our students want to work with an individual tutor. But one of the ways that we can stretch and serve more students is by creating small groups. So one volunteer might work with 2 or 3 students that were matched with that person because they share a common background, such as they all work in IT, or they all share a first language, so they all know Mandarin. And that allows us, one, to match more students with the existing volunteer population that we have, and 2, it allows us to serve more beginning students, especially if we have a bilingual or multilingual volunteer. So the majority of our students are served individually or in small groups that way. Students can also come for drop-in services, such as our conversation groups. We have volunteers who have elected either instead of or in addition to tutoring individuals. They host a drop-in session where folks can come to the library on Wednesdays at 10 a.m., for example, when we open, and join John's conversation group. The conversation groups are intended to give those students the opportunity to speak and listen in English, ask questions, make mistakes in a friendly environment. Each volunteer that hosts one of those groups kind of gives the group their own spin. So that is very much comes from the creativity and personality and knowledge and skills of the volunteer. So there's a lot of opportunity to kind of be you in this role, bring your strengths to it. Does that cover what you have in mind?
Thank you.
And I saw another question over here.
Two-part question. First of all, thank you for doing it. It's a terrific program and serves a lot of people well. My question is, 2 questions. Do you have a standard curriculum for literacy and culture? And do you include something on manners?
We have many curricula. Some are all-inclusive, so they will feature reading, writing, grammar, comprehension. And then we have many specific skills-based resources. So we have a wealth of items to choose from in print, workbooks that the students can keep right in and they never have to give them back. There's a whole special collection of materials that are just for the volunteers to use. And we provide support to the volunteers. So if they're trying to figure out what's the best resource to help my learner with a particular skill, or I'm just getting started working with someone, here's what they want to learn, which curriculum do you recommend? Yes, we buy specialized curriculum. That's a lot of what we use our grant and city funding to do, is to make sure we have the materials appropriate for what our learners need.
How about manners?
Manners, we do have several resources that talk specifically about how to speak like Americans speak, slang, relaxed speech. It's part of kind of the cultural element, but yes, and it's idioms is a big part of that. Tracy, you probably have some good examples. I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but there are some incidents that have come up or things we have learned from our volunteers who say, I didn't realize, but in my students' culture, making eye contact is considered offensive. But here in America, we expect people to make direct eye contact during conversation. So it's a big shift for someone new here who doesn't know that, and for the volunteer who doesn't realize that the opposite is appropriate in their student's home country. Shaking hands, do you shake hands? Do you not shake hands? The small talk element that Tracy mentioned before. So there are all kinds of cultural differences that I think both people learn in the relationship. Does that answer your question?
Thank you.
I was just gonna add that our program is learner driven, so that means the student asks for what they want. And the tutor adapts, so we have actually many advanced learners who have already done reading and writing. They were raised elementary all the way to high school, learning English, but written and reading it. That doesn't mean they can speak it very well, right? If any of you have ever studied a foreign language, it's one thing to be able to read and write it. It's another thing to move to that country and carry on a rapid paced conversation. So anyways, yeah, so that's what it is.
It's not a question.
I applaud what you guys are doing. And one statement you made early on in the conversation with the slides was that it's important for everyone to understand our English language if they want to get ahead in this town. But our society or our political society has made it difficult to force that to happen. Because they make it easy to not learn English. So how would you, how can we correct that?
Well, I would say that the people come to us for services want to be connected to their communities, and it's not as easy as it might seem, even if you have a strong desire to learn English. One thing that has been surprising to us is to hear that many adults who are trying to learn English, even if they live with family members who can speak, the grandparents who moved here, who live with their adult daughter and her family, there isn't the opportunity or necessarily willingness among family members. We hear that from our learners that children who learn English in school and can speak it fairly fluently aren't such willing practice partners with their adult parents. So it can be a challenge to find someone who's willing to spend time to help you correct your mistakes and to know how to speak properly and to incorporate all that cultural learning that we talked about. So there is still a big need despite, resources being published in multiple languages. That cultural element, even if you can read instructions for doing a certain activity in your first language, it might not make sense unless you have the bigger picture. And without having someone who knows the culture and knows really what's going on and can explain it to you, it can still be a big disconnect. So I don't know if that addressed the question that you had, but.
No, the real reason, if I go to a foreign country, I better learn how to speak that language, or I'm in big trouble. Why isn't it that way here?
Well, I can't speak to the bigger world at large, but our services are geared toward adults who do need that extra helping hand, whether the English is their first language or if they're learning English as a second language. So we don't only serve non-English speakers. Some of our clients grew up here in the US and just need that extra help with English because they didn't get what they needed along the way. So we're doing our best to bridge that gap as our partner agencies. And the people that do come and take advantage of our services do truly want to learn And it takes some time to get fluent in English. Some people learn much more quickly than others do, but we find that our students are really dedicated and they spend a lot of time each week doing their best to learn and acclimate.
Thank you for coming. I enjoyed my visit to the library. Didn't really know how to do this program, so I was just curious. You mentioned that you get grants or other funds. I was curious if you could elaborate on the budget or how you are getting funds for the curriculum or hiring on people.
I'm sorry, I couldn't quite hear the question there.
Yeah, I was just wondering about your budget for the program.
So the city provides excellent support. We are a 3-member team. So we have one additional librarian, adult literacy coordinator who is here today. And we're paid city staff. So our jobs are mostly librarians. And then Tracy is part-time with us as a program coordinator. So as librarians, most of our salaries paid by the city, and also the city provides a collection of books and materials for adult beginners of English, so people with a library card have access to that. There's also a language learning database that the library provides. The grant funding that I spoke of, California Library Literacy Services provides training for us in our roles as adult literacy coordinators. So we have a great opportunity to network with other coordinators, find out what other programs do, how they serve their learner needs. So it's a great opportunity to collaborate and find out what's going on in the literacy world and how we can get new ideas and try new things to do our jobs better. We do also put a lot of those funds on materials so that we can make sure we have all the teaching implements that our volunteers might need. And so we can fulfill requests for specific books. If there's something that they hear about or they see, we can usually purchase copies because of the grant funding. So it's a wonderful supplement to what we receive from the city. We really rely heavily on it.
Thank you.
Well, thank you again for having us.
Julie and Tracy, we have a drawing, so you guys will be picking the tickets. But first of all, I want to ask you if you have a tutoring session that I can join. I learned how to say last name. Thank you.
We're gonna let you pick one.
Need the last three numbers.
Number 518.
Who's got 518? Somebody's got to have 518.
Yeah,
Buy your tickets? Are you the only one who bought tickets today?
Yeah. Well, it's either of you two guys, right? You're the- They should do the drawing. They are the only ones who buy tickets.
Did anybody else buy tickets besides
They're
these two
together,
guys?
they're together, so.
All right.
Oh, Tom has one.
Tom won. Oh, Tom's got one. We've got 518.
It's not the right line.
Okay.
It's not the right number, so it has to be there.
Okay, so we'll let the second one you might get. One of you wants to draw the.
Where your car keys are?
Yeah. We found those. We got a white.
Okay, one more.
Tracy, you go to that.
I gotta take that white one back out.
It's a blue one.
You only draw that.
519.
Nope. All right. Nobody got it.
Nobody got it this time.
All right, thank you to all our visitors. Thank you to our presenters, Tracy and Julie. And this meeting is adjourned.